Consent agenda, review and consider motion to approve the consent agenda, the minutes.
You just started that.
April 8th, 2024, April 15th, 2024, notice of special meeting. Negotiations, April 22nd and 23rd, 2024, record of attendance, April 29th, 2024, notice of special meeting negotiations, April 29th, 2024, notice of special meeting, budget workshop, April 30th, 2024, notice of special meeting, math curriculum review, May 2nd, 2024, notice of special meeting, board policy committee, May 6th, 2024, notice of special meeting, budget workshop, May 8th, 2024, special notice of special meeting negotiations. Just a note, 9 meetings. We just got 1 meeting a month.
Are these improving the minutes of those meetings as well?
Yeah.
Did we correct that when we had an attendance issue? That's something Tana had noticed, that there was an attendance issue, or SMEA did for that date. Do you remember that when we were sitting on that?
Didn't one of them have the old trustee names on it?
No, there was an issue that we had for one of those minutes. I just want to make sure we address that before we approve them. Did we correct that then?
We have to look.
Okay, we're good. Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure we're being
Okay.
diligent. Okay.
Bills and financial report.
I saw motion.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a
Okay.
second. Any further discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Employment, Dale Bolin, Maintenance Department, Maintenance Custodian Assistant, Douglas McKivley, Technology Department Coordinator, Gloria Paulsonich, St. Mary's High School Education Teacher, beginning 2024-2025 contract year, Bobby Stumpner, substitute teacher, paraprofessional, Bobby Sumpner, Hayburn Elementary School, special education paraprofessional, effective 2024-2025 school year, summer maintenance and custodial.
I can, I
Recuse.
have to recuse myself from employment.
So
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Hold on. She's there.
Aye.
Okay,
I forgot to push the button. Aye.
okay. I'll need a motion to table Casey Hillman, substitute teacher and paraprofessional, for further information.
I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Have Paul.
He's recused.
He recused himself again. So, resignations, Kelly Johnson, St. Mary's Middle School, special education teacher, effective at the end of the 2023-2024 contract year. Jeff Rose, St. Mary's Middle School, college and career readiness advisor, effective at the end of the 2023-2024 school year.
I make the motion to accept those resignations. I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Presentation agenda.
Let's clarify that she opposed and aye. Sorry, that's what I understood. Was her aye and opposed? She said
It
aye
was-
afterwards.
No, it was late.
Okay.
Late delay. Sorry.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that was recorded.
I just want to say with our 2 resignations, that are resigning for personal or health reasons, and they've been an asset to the school district, we wish them well.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll move on to F, student presentation, St. Mary's High School, Arts and Spanish 1 and 2 students.
Okay. Our humanities department, as small as they are, 2 or 3 staff members, some half-time, some full-time, but they are mighty. First, let's start with our art department and Ms. Gutierrez.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I have Lily Rice here with me in my advanced art class today to speak to you. I'm gonna go over just a few things as well. So I have a presentation that shows, all of our visual work. Not all of it, but a few things. So we recently did some chalk art on the goat trail. That was super fun. The students had the opportunity to express themselves using chalk. We experimented with using water to spread it like paint, so that was very fun. I'll just show you some of the images here.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're gonna switch gears now and talk about the oil painting that we have been doing. Louie is going to talk to you a little bit about that and all of that process.
So the oil painting project is probably our biggest project of the second semester. We've had the woodshop kids put together our frames, and we've even stretched the canvases over it ourselves. And we have primed the canvases, and we're learning all about how the different mediums of oil painting and acrylic painting are different. And that's a really good example of the underwash, how you have to paint it before you can actually paint it. And there are a couple more examples. A lot of these are a work in progress because oil painting takes a really long time. Here's my own personal one. It's not quite done yet, but that's of my dog. Here's one of our finished works. There's another one.
Oh, cool.
That is cool.
Pretty neat, yeah.
And if you guys are wanting to see a little bit more of our art, we're having an art show on the 23rd over in the Hayburn Park. It's from 4:30 to 6:30.
Yeah, we're having it at the amphitheater outside, so it's gonna be fun.
It's be really great.
4:30?
What, what time's 4:30 to 6:30?
PM, and where was it? The City Park?
Amphitheater at the city park.
Awesome.
And then I also brought in, oh yeah. Out here on our bulletin board, we have some prints. So printmaking is a process where you essentially make your own stamp. And so these are the blocks that you carve. And then you roll ink. You can actually see the ink on this one. You roll it out and then you put it on the paper and it makes a print. So if you haven't, glanced at that yet, you could take a look at that. But I brought some of these in. I don't know if you want to look at them.
Okay, yeah, pass them around.
Yeah, please.
But they're very
You got some
cool.
ink to go with them? We can try them out.
Yeah, you want to try them? That would have been fun.
There's a couple.
Got a
great
canvas we can
canvases
use.
on either end of these tables.
Yeah. I'm all about it.
I also brought in, these are maps. I thought these
Oh,
were
killer.
really cool.
Oh.
The kids made these, so I could pass this around
Yeah,
as well.
please. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I know, we
My
have
daughter
some
would
really
love it.
I love that
talented
cleverness, man.
art students.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. They all crinkled it up.
Oh, yeah.
That's clever.
I used to-
Super clever.
Didn't they used to make something like years ago called onion paper that kind of resembled that?
Is that like water potato day?
No, this is serious. I remember something of it. It was kind of wavy, but I thought it was looking. Jeanette, you might be old enough to remember.
Jeez.
Awesome.
Come on.
It's there the day you guys
I like
were
this
working on
too.
these.
Looks like it's still on
I was
high.
visiting.
They put it back.
It's neat
in
to
there,
see
so
the
it's still
finished
on
product.
high almost.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I saw it when it was in
Super
the
clever.
works.
Wow.
A little bit. Is yours in here?
I don't-
Really
I think I was working on
creative.
my oil painting
Okay.
while this
I
was
know
going
there were
on.
different projects out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah, a
kinda
lot
cool.
of the students for the maps, they poured rice out onto the paper and traced around the rice. So
Oh, wow.
that's the kind of the intricate design that you see there.
Pretty clever.
Yeah.
Amazing what
Hmm.
they do.
Super clever.
This one.
I ate glue. I didn't use it for anything.
It's really cool. The burn in the middle. Super, super clever, man.
Yeah.
Can you see, Beth?
Can we go back in time? Can you be my art teacher?
Absolutely, I would love that.
30 years?
Yeah, I'm 31.
Okay.
That would be good art, actually. 1-year-old art's a lot of fun. Finger painting.
Actually 34.
Scribble
sorry.
walls.
Yeah, wow.
That's all right. Super clever stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, good,
Yeah,
good
thank you.
job.
Thank you very much.
Tell your students good job too.
I love seeing it. Thank you for presenting, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I need to see
Is the
this.
sprinkler system?
Oh, you
actually
didn't?
working
No,
in
it's
high
fine.
school? That's a lot of burning going
I'll
on.
look it. I'll look it up.
The
They probably went outside
Some
for
of them
that.
did that outside or at home. Yeah.
I didn't think the burns would be at the school.
Did you see him, Beth?
Not really, not up close, no.
Would you like to?
Sure.
They're gonna have them down at the park May 23rd at 4:30.
Yeah, I might have to make a point of going down there. I heard that part, yeah. There's a map.
I'll give her another one.
I'll show you so you can see the
Yeah, those are great.
Spanish kids are speaking next. There you go.
Yeah, it's all glitchy. I can't see it.
All right. We'll
Remember Josh said that kind of cuts out the important parts.
let you see the kids and the teacher.
Awesome.
All right, well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Appreciate
letting me be here.
Thanks
Oh, yeah.
for being here.
Thanks for presenting. Yeah.
I'm gonna take this.
You want to get a picture?
You guys go.
We have our Spanish Department of One. Fortunate, next year, we're adding some more college classes across the board. This will be one. Miss Bailey is working on or finished with certification to be Spanish 3 teacher, so students will get
Awesome.
Spanish credit now at the high school level or college credit as well. So,
Right on.
cool things going on in that department, so I'll let her and her students share with you what they're up to.
Hi.
Hi.
So unfortunately, Pete told me I couldn't bring my student's brain, so you could see how big it's gone since we started learning. But I did bring a couple of students from my classes, Andrea from Spanish 2 and from Spanish 1. And I did bring some of the posters from my students you can see hanging up. They worked really hard on this project, and while it doesn't look like a really big paragraph, they did work on a zero technology project for these posters. So everything that you see written on there came from their knowledge from Spanish 1 and 2. They use my little dinosaur friends, which is my dictionaries. And they used all the notes and papers that they had from past assignments. So they talked a little bit about their childhood and the things they liked and disliked when they were little. And then for the pictures, we had all magazines. So they had to look through a bunch of magazines to find pictures that would match their paragraphs and the things that they liked and disliked. So they had to get a little bit creative because they couldn't just look up a picture on the internet. And then afterwards, they got a chance to walk around and read the paragraphs that their friends had written down and write down what they learned about 10 different people. This was all done in Spanish, so they have done great. And then my Spanish 1 kids have been working with body parts this last chapter. So we are learning how to talk about our well-being, like if we're sick, and we're traveling. And so they are learning all of that. They did get to make some monsters, but we didn't have any more space to hang them up. So they got a random number of body parts and they had to create a monster with these body parts. And so you can imagine how funny looking they were. Some of them had 3 heads and 1 neck. So that's pretty interesting to see how their imagination worked. But they impress me every single day with how much they can read. And I hope that they impress themselves, because when they first walk in my classroom the very first day, my first question to them when I wait for them at the door is, "What's your name?" in Spanish. And without fail, every single kid looks at me like I just asked them to confess a crime, even though they heard the kid before them answer the exact same question. So they come far along from not understanding what your name is to what they can do now. So Ambria is going to read her paragraph about her childhood, and Carter is just going to talk a little bit about what he has learned so far in class.
All right.
Hola, mi nombre es Ambria y yo nací el 19
Would you
de...
please stand closer to the podium, Mike?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Then people at home.
We're
who are
recording.
tuning
Yeah, so
in
this is
can
all
hear.
recorded, so don't be afraid to get right up there.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Now you're being watched on
Then-
14 channels on the internet.
Now your voice is picked up.
Yeah.
You weren't nervous before.
Hola, mi nombre es Ambria y yo nací el 19 de enero del 2008. Cuando era niña yo escuchaba los Beatles todo el tiempo. Mis colores favoritos eran el rosa y el morado. Yo iba a los columpios todo el tiempo, no importaba el clima. No me gustaba dormir porque yo siempre quería jugar con juguetes con mi hermano. Me gustaba leer mucho. Mi libro favorito era Diario de Wimpy. Mi juguete favorito era mi perro morado de peluche. Yo tenía una bicicleta de Hello Kitty de mi primo. Me gustaba la natación y competir.
Oh.
You
Pretty
over
good.
Brenda.
Yeah.
Doesn't that fast.
Good job.
I picked up on Hello Kitty.
You make
I
it
caught
up.
Hello
Sorry.
Kitty and I eat crazy.
And you don't think we're nervous?
All right, no pressure. Unfortunately, I can't do what she does, but I can tell you in English on how. So when I first came into freshman year in Spanish 1, I was just so lost because like all this new stuff that I never understood just all happened upon me. But she handles it in a really great way, teaching me. She gives us notes that we can always look back on, so they're always there, super helpful, saving me lots of times. And we've been learning a lot of stuff about like stem changers in Spanish and present progressives.
There's going to be a quiz after this.
Yeah. Because of what you're saying.
For us?
That's the best part.
Oh, okay. Might have to come and take your class first.
Yeah, so present progressives, we've learned a lot of vocab, how to speak the language and how to, get going in the Spanish word.
Awesome.
Get a rhythm going.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
So what's your guys' favorite interactive portion of how you learned the most? Like what can you take back and say in the past couple of years or the first year, right? What was like the best way you learned? Hands-on, or is it verbally, or tell me?
I think I learned best with like practicing, like talking out loud, like when we like classroom we would talk to each other.
So reverberating what you've heard. Okay. Awesome.
I feel like I've learned best doing like digital work.
Sure. Hands-on. Okay.
Yeah, she
Awesome.
has, like these mystery pictures where you like go down little rows and answer questions.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's helped me a lot.
Awesome. What will Spanish 3 open the doors for?
Well, it is 8 college credits for taking 1 year of Spanish, which is Spanish 3. It covers not only the language credit at the college level, but it also covers the humanities credit,
Awesome.
which they can take with them anywhere. And I personally think that my students here at St. Mary's are most like some of the most advanced students I have seen. I teach in Coeur d'Alene, and with having the opportunity to have my students 2 years where I can work with them and I know exactly where they are and where we ended the year before, it's given us an opportunity to build a relationship and also to move along at the same pace. And by
Help
the time they
develop
make it to Spanish 2, they know that the standard is high in my class, and they know what they're there for, and it's awesome. They do great. And we actually have one more student that
sweet.
is here to read her poster or to talk about.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry, to talk about her experience in Spanish 1. And Elizabeth is actually a senior at the high school right now, and she's in my Spanish 1 class.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You have to get in front of the mic, please. And you're being recorded,
Yeah.
so we're,
Okay,
we're
that's
all,
totally
yeah.
So I'm in Spanish 1, so I didn't actually create a poster, but I actually regret not doing Spanish earlier in my high school years as a senior, of course.
Oh.
And in the beginning of the year, I was going to choose a Japanese language class because Japanese is a really cool language. I always wanted to learn it, but I knew that if I were to take a Japanese class, it would be online. And of course, that's not a skill that I'm really best at. So of course my mom, she urged me to take a Spanish class. So I went ahead, signed up for a Spanish class, and honestly, I thought it would have been really hard, especially since I'm 18 years old. You know, the younger you are, the easier it is to learn a language. And especially because of Profe Bailey's hands-on learning experiences that she does in the classroom, it has honestly been perfect. And of course, I would practice my Spanish all day long in the classroom or outside of the class at home. But I never would have thought that I would have passed the test because it's like, oh my gosh, you know, different verbs, AR verbs, ER, IR, it's way similar to English, but different in a way. And I've been passing every single one of the tests because of how well she teaches her students.
Cool.
It's honestly amazing, especially because she's from Mexico. So it's like learning from, you know, an actual Mexican. And that is like perfect. It's just perfect, honestly,
Yeah.
you know? In my personal opinion, it's
Yeah.
awesome. So
In case you guys were wondering.
Doesn't get any better is what you're saying? Oh, we're not worthy.
I mean, that's right, but I'm kind of perfect at this.
Yo.
And she mentioned, you know, her test scores when she was in college for, you know, trying to teach, you know, Americans how to speak Spanish. And of course, Spanish is the second most taught language in the country. And it's very important to learn Spanish, especially if you're intending on, you know, staying in America. It's one of the top languages that you're eager to learn, pretty much. So honestly, Profe Bailey is like personally the best teacher that I've had. Because I did try Spanish in freshman year and it didn't go so well, especially because my teacher didn't have as much experience in the language. And this was in Washington at this point in time. So I believe that she's awesome. I mean, just recently we did a really cool monster project. And instead of using, you know, Google Translate, we used a slip and we were supposed to translate it ourselves and use a dice. And we were supposed to like figure out how many eyeballs we want or arms, if we want a brain or just hair or necks. Really weird. I had 2 necks on my monsters. But honestly, that was
Spanish and art should be going together somehow. That's great. That's great. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's hands-on. I mean, that's one of the things that helped me learn. You know, tutoring and, you know, on the board, it's cool. But when I learned hands-on and translate certain things and draw it, that helps me like completely. And she does mini games all the time. So I believe that she's definitely really fit.
All right.
Thank you.
Good deal.
Well, encouragement to you guys both is that's awesome to hear, especially it reflects the teacher for sure. But to you guys, learning language, you're never too young to learn language ever. And the more you use it, the better off it is. Especially if you're in, you know, we're in a country surrounded by others. It's good to learn. It's good to learn. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank
Yep,
you.
you betcha.
Thank you.
Okay, G, recommendation for the math curriculum, HMH into math for St. Mary's High School.
Where's Ms. Carson? Is she here?
Is Carson here?
No. So I'm gonna do is introduce Coach Mr. Buckler, and who's representing algebra in the high school, and he's gonna talk a little bit about the reasons for the recommendation.
Okay.
evening, everybody. Jim Buckler. I work at the middle school, but I also teach, as many of you know, Alpha 1 to the advanced eighth graders. So myself and the high school teachers discussed this curriculum at length. What I'd like to do right now is deliver the rationale, which is how we voted on what to recommend you guys. So the high school team did reach a strong majority. Based on our evaluation tool, the Into Math, which is the name of the curriculum, was praised for the following items. Number one, alignment to the Idaho content standards and the standards of mathematical practice. Number two, research-based mathematical teaching practices. Number three, a wide variety of supports and interventions to meet the needs of students. And number four, of course, high-quality instructional materials for teachers. It's for those reasons that the high school team is ready to recommend to the Board of Trustees the Into Math curriculum for adoption consideration. Do you guys have any questions for me?
You guys did the curriculum thing and
I was
vetting and whatnot?
You all right,
You guys
Beth?
vetted it all
We're
right?
not picking up all the
Yeah.
background
Okay.
noise of water bottles costs.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
Paul, you have a question?
you good, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I think we're good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on to H, building department reports, high school, Mr. Asbury.
I'm swinging you back around.
Sorry, I'm just taking notes. Go ahead.
Okay, for our emergency drills this month, we conducted all three: fire drill, hull check, and a lockdown. All went very well, thanks to our fabulous new IT gentleman. Came up with a pretty ingenious way to take roll and attendance better during emergency situations. So we appreciate his help already. It's making a big impact. Data review. Our spring data for ISAT and STAR are both kind of trickling in. Math and science are both in. Math scores currently, we almost tripled since our interim in December until April. We're pretty much tied right with the state at 30% proficiency in math. Science ISAT, about 55%, and the state's at 40%. So we're well above the state in our science scores. And currently, with about half of the ELA being reported, we're almost at 70% proficient in ELA. The state's a lot higher in English language arts, around the 50% mark, but we're still 20% better than the state currently. Still about half the students to be graded and put in the system. So student recognition, thanks to our art and Spanish students. They are sister-in-laws. So if you see the crossover between art and Spanish, they do a lot of team teaching and cross-curricular activities. So those types of things kind of run through their teaching style. So I appreciate having them both. We completed our food drive in the month of April, challenging other donors, area business between the hospital and Potlatch Deltic. And the high school itself raised over 4,100 pounds of food for our veterans and for the food bank here in town. We took 2 forestry field trips in preparation for adding that forestry curriculum in the future. We've been trying to do a little bit more and more. Every year we went to Potlatch Deltic to see what they all had to offer. And then we actually, on day 2, went out to a logging job, planted some trees, looked at some machinery, and at the end of the day, I think they picked over 100 ticks off the body. So if you're not prepared for flea, flea and tick season, do so now because they are thick. Other events, we just wrapped up our district track meet, which if you didn't get to take that in, first time we hosted district track, the ladies track team, first time ever as a 2A district champion. And both teams brought home male and female championships. I believe we sending 18 athletes to state currently. And that will begin Thursday and Friday at Middleton High School. We're also hosting golf currently. St. Mary's is co-oping with Circling Raven Golf Course, so we're hosting the state golf meet in Worley right now. Still had students teeing off. We may not finish everyone's 18 holes today, but
They got lights, don't they?
they're going to have a long day tomorrow if they have to golf 18 plus the others they did not finish today. So
They make glow in the dark ball.
they do. That course is tough enough without doing it in the dark. So, you know, lots of good stuff happening right now. Scholarship night for all of our graduating seniors coming up the 23rd. I think it's on the bottom of your board reports, 22nd. There's so many nights. There's a scholarship, there's a FAFSA, there's an awards night. There's from here until graduation, every night is full. So
Just one meeting a month.
just one meeting a month is right. What else is going on? Student recognition. We had our Night Star recipients, top scholar, Idaho top scholar. They take the top 10% of those students and honor them at NIC juniors going into their senior years. Other news, ISEP testing and STAR, both complete, graduation, planning, already underway. June 1st, we'll be all set up and ready to go, and we'll be honoring the newest inductee to the Lumberjack Wall of Fame, and that's Miss Kippy Silflo. So she's excited. Our staff of the month was our front office staff, Chris Gibson and Nancy McKelvey. And as you saw the other poster board out here, we had a blood drive at the end of April, 1st of May, and we collected 26 units of blood for donation. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
You guys are in the middle of golf deal. Are you guys accepting any donations at all for golf supplies?
Are we accepting
Yeah.
donations?
You guys accept-
We're always accepting donations.
Okay, cool. Remind me to get a hold of you because I'll forget to.
Okay.
I won this packet of stuff that I'm not going to use. You guys need
Okay,
to.
donations are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't golf.
I'm not any good at it, but somebody is. Somebody is. Any other questions for the high school?
Chris, you have down for the awards night at 6 o'clock. I have it at home at 6:30.
Is that on the 22nd?
Yes,
Can't remember.
so it's been at 6:30.
The invite I was sent out to me probably by Mrs. Pete says 6 to 8 on my calendar. I will double check. Someone will hopefully remind me, and I will double check. And if there's a change, we will definitely put something out.
No, well, I'll just give them a call.
Okay. Oh, and that's another thing I almost forgot because they're just there now. Our national BPA students are traveling currently, and they're in Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think they
Cool.
left
Yeah.
For national.
Thursday night for the national competition.
Good for them.
They should be back late tonight.
all right.
Awesome.
Well,
Busy. I haven't heard. I heard they were safe. That's all I was worried about. Make sure. Chicago airport is crazy. So if you're safe in your venues, I'm good.
well, any questions? You good, Beth?
Very good.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Asbury.
Yeah.
Food service, Ms. Chafee.
Hello.
Hello.
So we've got bid season happening. North Idaho Co-op has decided to roll over their bids from last year, so we will continue with Cisco and Insight for the majority of our food and paper bids. I also have sent out bids for things that aren't on the co-op bid, such as miscellaneous food and paper supplies, milk. My bid deadline was this Friday, May 17th, but I had some suppliers ask for me to push it off another month because manufacturers aren't getting back to them yet with fall pricing. So we're gonna push that off till June 17th. Fingerprint scanning software. So right now we use fingerprint scanning at all the schools except for Upriver because it never just was successful there. But we're actually going to get away from fingerprint scanning at the middle school and high school just because of all the software issues that we've had and just the lack of support from the software company. It's kind of a little mom and pop kind of company, and just we've been struggling for 2 years with it now, and it's just not worth it. So we're looking to switch to a keypad where kids will need to memorize a 4-digit code. We're also looking at maybe the possibility of using a card for them to swipe, but we haven't made it that far to decide if we're doing that yet. Free and reduced application software. Right now, we use something called NutriCloud, and it's been pretty great for people to apply online for their free and reduced applications, but we do pay $1,500 a year for it. And with the push for cumulative in Skyward, we've decided we're going to switch back to that, which it is part of our system anyway, because parents are really going to get all of that information, and we like the idea of them going to one place to fill out all of their registration and hopefully their free and reduced application at the same time. So looking at cost increases, we really looked at cost increases this year with cost of employment going up and just food and paper goods going up for the last couple years. The state, now that COVID is over, has really stopped the increase in our reimbursement went away. We had a supply chain assistant grant that we received, which was helping pay for our milk. That's going away, but unfortunately, the cost of food has not gone down at all, and the cost of employment has not gone down at all. And the state is not reimbursing us any higher. So I'm just looking at some different options to how we can increase our revenue to try to keep up with that. Just some things we're trying to do are, the possibility of offering a second breakfast in some of the schools. We find that a lot of kids, when they come in first thing in the morning, don't eat breakfast. Sometimes at the elementary school, it's because they're out playing. Middle school, high school, it's just studies show that older kids just do not eat first thing in the morning. Another thing we're looking at is right now at the high school, we haven't been able to serve cafeteria style, I guess what it is called, where you have a tray and we scoop things into their tray because we don't have enough staff up there to do that. But we've discovered that high school is very generous and allows us to have teachers and aides help with us. So we're utilizing some of them to next year where we can actually do some cafeteria style service, which will really decrease our costs in paper goods and allow us to use less expensive foods that we get from the USDA compared to like right now, one of the big costs we have is just a fruit cup because we serve flat trays, the kids come through and grab. And like, for instance, a fruit cup costs 39 cents a piece. Whereas if I use a canned product from the USDA, that's 3 cents a serving. So 39 cents compared to 3 cents is a pretty big difference. Middle school is also looking at how they're ushering in their students for us. So instead of ushering them right into the building, because if you're familiar with the middle school, the cafeteria is quite a ways away from the regular building. So we're thinking of ushering kids in through the cafeteria because one of the issues we see is just kids are it's just too much effort to try to go up to the cafeteria to eat. So we're going to see if that makes any difference. Yeah, well, we're hoping maybe the smell, they'll decide they're hungry after all. Let's see. And of course, we're increasing, as you'll see on the agenda tonight, we're increasing adult prices. In June, we'll also be discussing just increasing student and a la carte prices. Let's see if I'm missing anything.
So with the staffing, when I was in school, there would be students that helped with serving.
We do that in some of our buildings, and we try to utilize students who maybe are struggling with just paying for their lunches. Yeah, so we've done that before. It's difficult at Hayburn because of their recess time doesn't coordinate with the entire lunch. And
Sorry, go ahead. I'm listening. Is it the high school though that you're struggling with the factor of not being able to have enough staff? You were saying.
yeah, but I think we've fixed that one.
Okay.
I think we've fixed that. We've always had staff help. We just it never happened in my predecessor, so we didn't think it was possible. But as we started looking at it, we realized, it is possible for us to do this. And with a grant, we purchased trays that actually have compartments in them, so you can do it. So we haven't tried it yet, and we'll see how it goes. High school kids like to race through, and they like to grab all their stuff without a tray because they don't want to have to bring that tray back to put it away. So it'll be a process, but I think it'll be a good one, and it'll reduce costs. Staff not having to prepackage everything, that takes time. Paper goods cost money, and just having to purchase some things that are already prepackaged compared to bulk makes a big difference.
When I was a kid, we called it hot lunch is what we called that when I was a kid. And that was where, it's not that it's not hot or not, it's just what we called it. But I wonder if there could be a reward program, that for high schoolers that do help and donate.
Yeah.
Or maybe something that incentive for them that can't afford
We
the food.
actually do have special needs, but I think only one this year.
Yeah.
But we do have special needs students that do dishes and wipe tables, and they actually get paid, I think, Danette, through a grant, not through us. So it's a program. So we
I like your
instituted that
idea.
a couple years ago
Yeah.
because we really, during COVID, staffing was difficult.
Sure.
So on being unable to find a part-time dishwasher during that time, that's when we started utilizing students. So, but yeah, it's definitely help. And we'll give students a free lunch.
That's what I like. I like that idea of incentive of students that are having a hard time affording it, offering them, hey, if you
Yep.
help out, you get food.
Oh yeah. And
How many kids would just raise their hand for that one? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Good idea.
we've done it all year at the middle school. Recently we stopped because the student didn't want to do it anymore. So, but yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's a win-win for us, and it's a win-win for them. So
Make that a humanity.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's true. They do. We have signed off on that for them.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Dishwasher.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, what time do I gotta be there?
Yep. So that's, just those things. We're just looking at trying to figure out how we can reduce costs a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna make up for the we'll see. We'll see.
You're being diligent.
I'm trying. And one of the things I'm also trying to do is just look at each, I haven't started doing it yet just because it's been so crazy the end of the year, but just looking at each menu item and how much it costs, and can we offer something else? We get commodity food that's quite a bit cheaper. So for instance, I can get a 30-pound case of diced chicken for $4.62.
Oh,
So it makes sense to come up with some diced chicken. So for instance, last week I was at a co-op meeting with all of North Idaho. And so we were sharing, recipes. What kind of recipes can we use with diced chicken and just these commodity foods that are so much less expensive?
Maybe go talk to the jail too.
Yeah, they
Some of their
probably
food's
use
good.
some of the, I think
I'm sure
they
do.
probably use a similar program
Yeah.
to what we use.
Are you limited to what you can make as far as recipes?
It is harder. So we have to follow
State guidelines.
the NSLP guidelines, which are very strict. We have to have so many meats and so many grains. And so it's harder to make scratch recipes because of that, because your recipe has to, for each serving, has to have so many meats, so many grains, and you have to qualify those based on what the USDA determines is a meat and a grain. Yeah, so it's harder. It definitely is. And that's why it's great to utilize what other districts are doing, because we're not recreating the wheel. So,
Because my wife was just making some pizza out of diced chicken veal. She made it for my daughter last week and it looked good.
Yeah.
I didn't know if something.
we actually make our own pizza here. Only one other district in North Idaho does that, which I don't understand why, because we get 40-pound cases of cheese for $4.62. And yeah, so other districts they buy the pizza crusts with the cheese already on it, but we just buy our pizza crusts par baked, and then we make them ourselves. And we do a chicken Alfredo and a barbecue chicken pizza. So we utilize that diced chicken
Cool.
that way. So,
Super clever.
yeah.
Can you send the lunch menu out to the board? So
Come and eat anytime.
I'm hungry
Yeah.
now.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, open forum. Did anybody sign up to speak? Okay, I guess we'll move on then. Presentation.
Oh, sorry. Just with the other board reports and building reports, we had those two tonight, and then the rest are just in writing. So if you had any questions from the other building board departments, they're in writing.
And I think that kind of, did you and I talk about that? About not having everybody come, every time, just if there was something significant going on, maybe have that board member or, department member or high school, whatever it is,
Yes.
come and present because,
Yes.
I think for the most part, we read it anyway, unless there's any kind of a question. So if you guys feel you want something different,
I think it works just out, rotate through.
yeah. I do
Yeah,
too.
that's decent. I like how we're at least giving them a good amount of attention and we learn a lot from that department.
Are you good, Josh?
You good with that, Beth?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Okay.
That's great.
Just trying to include you. Well, I don't see you other than a computer, so I just want to make sure that you're still there. Okay, moving on to I, resolution for staff and teacher appreciation week. Not it.
I'll read it. I'll read it.
Josh is gonna read
Okay,
it.
Josh will read it. This is school board resolution recognition teacher appreciation week
And staff.
and staff, May 13th through the 17th, 2024. So we just want to give a shout out to teacher appreciation and staff for this week. So
You guys are kicking off their appreciation week.
Yep.
With your resolution.
we're going to read a resolution there
There's some pictures of them up there.
for you all, and thank you for all the work.
All right. St. Mary's Joint School District Number 41, School Board Resolution 2023-2024-01. Whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers and staff build relationships with students that enable young people to believe in their own potential, and whereas teachers and staff work long beyond the normal school day to instruct, transport, supervise, counsel, and feed the students, and whereas teachers and staff care about their students and impart them with the skills they'll need to thrive in adult life, and whereas teachers and staff have adapted to different challenges to provide instruction while keeping students safe, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers and staff in transporting, feeding, supervising, counseling, and educating the children of this community. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the St. Mary's Joint School District Number 41 School Board proclaims May 13th, 2024 to be Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week, and be it further resolved that the St. Mary's Joint School District Number 41 School Board strongly encourages all members of our community to join with it in personally expressing appreciation to our teachers and staff for their dedication and devotion to the students of St. Mary's School District Number 41.
Okay.
Sign it.
Yeah,
You sign it?
great. You got to sign one?
Today, the 13th.
Sign one.
We can pass it around.
Blue ink.
Today's the 13th, correct?
Blue ink. You have the blue ink?
Blue ink.
Awesome.
Adopted the 13th day of May, 2024.
Who wrote that up?
It's you can pull from different teacher and staff resolutions and kind of make it work for St. Mary's, and had your guys' eyes on it, and there it is.
Well, I'll start off by saying I appreciate all teachers, for sure.
Oh, there's
Yes.
signatures
Every one of
on
you
the
guys.
back. Did you see how-
That's what they're
That's what we're
signing.
doing, Miss Clerk.
I should have, well, I should have had a better, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty tough. No, what's this one?
Oh, you want this cool pen? I got it. Sharpie S gel.
Okay.
My signature here.
So Beth,
I'll have Beth sign it.
Okay.
yep, Hannah, okay,
Shall take test. Yep.
all right. So again, thank you for all the teachers, staff,
Very much.
very much.
Very, very
You guys Do a wonderful job.
Thank you, guys.
Some of the national appreciation was last week, and we held off to kind of celebrate this week so the board could kick off the appreciation. But I know some staff and PTOs have already been appreciating the staff and the teachers. So this week, central office and the school board, we will deliver a little lunch to each of the departments and schools this week.
Cool.
It's a small token, but meant to show huge gratitude and thank you for their hard work and their dedication and their care for the teachers or for the kids that they give each and every day.
Okay.
Awesome.
All righty.
Which is part of my superintendent report.
Okay. Moving on to Jay, superintendent's report.
So that was part of it. Go teachers, go staff. They're the one in the trenches, right? They're making the work go round and round so that we move our kids towards that big vision statement of teaching the skills, developing the knowledge, fostering responsibility and confidence, so that when our kiddos walk across the stage, they are equipped and ready to be successful and productive citizens. So thank you, staff, and thank you, teachers. There's just a fun couple little highlights of the last couple weeks. A lot of the schools on the cleanup day for the city also spent some time cleaning up our community and schools. A little bug day, which the kids all have a little song about the life of bugs. Ants, bumblebees.
Did they release the butterflies?
They did that on Friday.
Yeah.
I saw the dress rehearsal on Thursday.
It was adorable.
Yeah. You heard Principal Asbury talk a little bit about that's our business partner association club in Chicago right now at nationals. Just various competitions, right? Public speaking and finance and marketing. So
Cool.
I'm sure we'll hear great
Awesome.
results when they get back. And then our track is doing well. They just held the district invitational this past weekend. Some fun highlights there. Like I shared about the staff and the teachers. Some calendar events. Most of you are really familiar with these at this point. So we're kicking off our teacher and staff appreciation. We have next week a board workshop, one more board workshop on our strategic plan. Really one last opportunity, right, for public and us just to take a good look at our vision statement, some of our goals, which we can use as markers to reach our vision statement, and some of that priority work in each of those goals so we can reach or take our kids closer to the growth and achievement of those goals. And then, so we'll look at that again. And the 22nd is the awards banquet. We're confirming the time, but right now we have it at 6. 23rd, some of us are going to the Leadership Institute from 9 to 1 in Coeur d'Alene, and then we're returning for the board budget workshop starting here at 3 o'clock.
Right.
I think I got everything on the calendar. CTE shop, it's been a little while, so. Well, yeah.
Let's get down
yeah.
to the goodie.
There we go. We have landed on the second location, which I didn't bring on map. I did share it in the board book or board letter. So we're gonna build behind the gymnasium there and near the goat trail and the hillside. That's the plan. We went back for a little bit more money from our original grant of close to 1.3, and looks like they've accepted our request. So we're almost at 1.6. So that's huge.
Was there a negotiation process or was
No,
there?
so what we do is we just go back before they have a little council.
Sure. Present
And we
it.
just present our case.
Okay.
Of why we're asking for more. And they thought it was pretty legit that from our original plans and then having to move location and the foundation and some of those additional costs that came with the foundation, they thought that was pretty legit.
Good job.
Yeah, so we're excited about that.
Good job.
We might even get a contingency added to that.
Really?
Yes.
That's the wisest thing to do.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll find out more about that officially on May 22nd, so I can report out at the June meeting. So now what we're gonna do is, we have a pretty good sketch of that construction. And we got more information about the site and the foundation and the soil. So now we're putting together what's called a request for qualifications, trying to find that qualified general contractor. Which means we put a little rubric together and some interview questions. So we would rank them in writing based on what they submit, but also have the opportunity to interview them. And when I say we, that's like a design team. So far, we have superintendent, the high school principal, a board member, the architect, the general contractor will come on later, a CTE teacher, our facilities and maintenance director, and possibly a trade or vocation business partner that Chris Asbury's looking for. So that would be our design team. When we write those questions, evaluate or rank them, and then go through an interview process to grab our general contractor. And then we would make that recommendation to the board. In terms of writing the request for qualifications, it's in draft form, and so then I'm meeting with legal tomorrow to get a better sense of just making sure we're following all the procurement process and Idaho code and the procurement process. That's where we're at.
What a better way of going at this. I have to approve. Like, just say, you're doing a great job. It's great. It's a good way of.
We're still gonna try and break ground this spring.
Yes, so that would be the plan is, this summer. For sure.
Awesome.
Cool.
And then be able to have construction completed and the 2 new pathways at the start of 25-26 school year.
Hi, boy.
Yellow.
So reflect what I'm hearing there.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
It is a mic drop. It was a mic drop.
My knee hurts, guys. I'm so sorry. I just like, sort of like what I'm hearing here is I'm hearing that there's a vetting process that's made it more specific for you to be able to identify what's more realistic for what cost range or what design.
And when the request for qualification is ready with those questions and the rubric, I will share that with the school board. Thank you for bringing that up, to make sure, like, this is what we want to ask and this is what we're looking for in our general contractor.
Awesome.
And then you will be the board member on that
Awesome. Perfect.
team.
So what is the specific timeline on that again?
We don't have a specific timeline right now. I mean, we would like to, well, right now we have a RFQ, having legal look at it, bring that back to the board to make sure we have the right questions and the right criteria. So we're talking, and then you've got to go through the procurement process, which is some public notice requirements. So we're probably talking somewhere between June and July. Maybe get close to get the general contractor, and then sit down with the design team and go over those plans, make some adjustments, yada, yada, be a part of the process. And ideally break the ground at the end of summer, beginning of fall. And give it a year for the construction process.
Cool.
Plus the equipment and the
Just
staffing.
Take time.
Yeah, super good whenever you do that to ground like that and you let hydro come back through a season. And that allows your ground to settle better, especially, and the general contractor will know that. So that's awesome. That's super wise. Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Yeah, because when we bring on the general contractor, right, we were gonna look for somebody who's got a team like the architect and a structural engineer.
Awesome.
Running lots in that world of procurement and construction. So just real fast, we have some preliminary data. I think it's always important to uphold our vision and our goals and the progress and achievement for our students, because that's why we're here. That's why we work so hard. So I'm going to go backwards a little bit. So those are our 4 superintendent and district goals. So looking at goal number 3, we have some preliminary data to show that we're on track to meet or exceed our goal for daily attendance. So have more than 92% of our kids here every day, always striving for 100%. And chronic absenteeism, it looks like we've improved. We're down to at least 22%, so that's a 5% improvement. In terms of goal 2, expand college and career readiness, and our graduation rate looks like we're on track to exceed 90%. And it's too early yet to tell the percentage of students college and career ready. We'll get that in the summer. In terms of goal 1, looking at achievement, particularly this past year, it was in language arts and math. We wanted, well, I'll just show you. So here's where we were at the last 3 years in language arts. And preliminary results, as scores are coming in, we're sitting at about the same, about 45%, at or above. We're hoping that continues to go up as kids are still testing. And then in math, here was the last 3-year results, district-wide and state. Our preliminary results have shown us a little bit of improvement with the number of kids at or above. And we'll keep watching those results and get more specific. You may have seen this a little bit, just pulling out some of the, in terms of explicit instruction, some of the key, I guess, research evidence, if you will, good practices. And as teachers, as we continue to support them in some of those areas of instruction, when done well and when done consistently, we can see kids make 2 years gain in 1 year's time. So you're going to keep watching and seeing us working on that. And these strategies and techniques in the classroom. End of report.
Okay. Excellent. Excuse me. K, Idaho School Board Association activities, ISBA Leadership Institute, May 23rd, 2024, Coeur d'Alene. Everybody going?
I don't think so.
I have
I'm going.
that day.
Okay.
I am not going to.
Okay.
Beth?
The one in Coeur d'Alene.
Yes.
Yeah, the Leadership Institute.
Yes, I'm scheduled to go.
Okay. You going, Seth?
Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. I was taking
Okay,
notes
you're
still.
good. All right, cool.
Jody, are you going?
Planned on it.
We have that thing at 3, right? After that, right? Which is going to be right back here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Who's not going? You two aren't going? Okay. Okay.
I'm putting flags out the 7th and 5th graders in American Legion.
Really? Okay. Huh. That's awesome.
All right. Moving on to L 2024-2025 budget workshop, April 29th, 2024, May 6th, 2024, and May 23rd, 2024.
So May 23rd is next week,
Gosh. Okay.
next Thursday. Is it at 5:30?
No, that's the one that's at 3.
Oh. I thought you did. Okay.
Negotiation is this week,
Is it?
Thursday at 4.
Yes. Next week is the other one.
Yes.
Yeah, this week.
Yes,
at
don't freak me out.
4,
Yes.
Thursday at 4.
That's all we have
Correct,
calendared.
Negotiations this week at 4.
This week was the 16th, is what we discussed. It was at 4.
At 4.
That's
Perfect.
right. And
And
then
we don't
next-
have anything that ISB is next
And
week.
Nikki's
right?
bringing
And then that's
pizza.
also our, yep, that's the workshop.
Yeah, the 23rd.
That's most important. Thursday.
So the next budget workshop is actually at 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see.
Okay.
I'll talk slow.
Not the first part. I'll drive really fast. How's that? Hopefully you'll get
Yeah. Budget workshop the 23rd at 3:00. And then, Jeanette, you want to reshare when you're posting the budget?
Oh, yes, I'll need to, with our budget hearing at our June meeting on the, what day is that, 10? I have to post the budget to the website on May 21st. So I have, that's why we're having these meetings that we're having right now, so we can make a determination of what the budget's gonna look like. So I can post it to the website. It will be in the Gazette Record that following Wednesday. And then on Monday, June 14th, we'll have the actual budget hearing where we'll just review for the record, as we did all the detail in the budget workshops, just reviewing and going over what it's, the final product will look like.
Okay.
You're posting on the 31st?
31st, so if it, on the website, 31st, and also send it to the Gazette to publish on that following Wednesday. Correct.
Yes, yes.
By statute, 10 days prior to the hearing, it has to published, or it has to be posted.
Okay.
And one time published a day. Since our gazette's just one day a week or one time a week, then that's when that's.
Okay, moving on to M, 2024-2025 school calendar.
You've seen the school calendar. And gone over this with staff, administration. It's really similar to last year's calendar. We just moved the days to match for 24-25. Start date is about the same on a Monday in August, last week in August. End day is about the same, that Friday, the first week of June. Keeping the holidays, early release, which is on Mondays, which is teacher, staff. We like to call that, like, that's when we're in school. That's our professional learning and collaboration time around student progress and achievement and around good instruction. Then you also see the parent conferences. We got a lot of good feedback, parent school conferences to keep those. So those are there at the end of each quarter. High school has the e-learning days as well as they accommodate some parent school conferences on those days. And some of the feedback on our e-learning days was to continue to make them more meaningful. So we'll have high school reach out and what does that mean and look like to make that more meaningful. What else did I want to highlight? What else? You can see the breakdown of each quarter so that by semester it's been 86 days and then the second semester is 86 days. There you go. Any questions?
Is there, I think Paul had mentioned it earlier regarding Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an opportunity to make an adjustment to Veterans Day being recognizing Veterans Day?
We would just table this then and then go back and create some drafts, have staff look at it and then bring it back.
My suggestion, maybe, if there's, I know we have to trade one day is the next.
Mhm.
Something I super appreciated this. I think, I want to say, I remember reading this or my son endured this. President's Day. One of the coolest things I've heard, or I think my son endured this when we first, like 5 years ago, was they would go to school for President's Day, but they would learn about presidents all day. Instead of just having a day off, respecting that and learning about the pinnacle things that they did to make this country great that I think would be, it'd be really awesome if we could adjust, if we needed a day that we were taking away, suggestion would be taking away. I mean, because we don't have school for Memorial Day, and that's no different for people that give their time in that service. If we needed to add that, I looked at President's Day and I was like, oh, we're not doing the focus where we have that day where we study. Just an idea.
Okay.
So that's just a suggestion that comes from me.
Is that required for veterans as well, or is it just President's Day? I think that's a requirement.
But
For veterans as well, is there not? If you have school on veterans.
oh, yes, it is a
Yeah.
requirement if you have school that, yes, we
have-
talk about
Talk about that.
just education on Veterans Day. Yes.
I was just looking.
This calendar,
Yeah.
I have to have this to the state by May 31st, so we have to have a special meeting to change this calendar. It can be done, but we would just need to,
I knew there was a
time to
date.
put it into their
Okay.
format and have it submitted by May 31st.
I'm okay with a special meeting. You guys are.
One more?
Well,
Well, we can.
I mean, obviously this is important, right?
It is
So I
very
definitely am agreeing. I want to get that
important.
calendar done for you guys. So, okay.
So can we put it on?
Yeah, what we'll do is table it. I'll reach back out for some input. We'll form some drafts and then we'll try to get it tacked on to May, when their last meeting, May 23rd.
Or the strategic planning one.
Well, that's the 21st. That's a little early. So we'll try to either tack it on to the 23rd or we'll have a special meeting the following week.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Okay. Okay, and 2024-2025 negotiations update. Still working on negotiations with the SMEA. We're getting on common ground.
Without pizza.
Yeah, without pizza. Our next meeting's coming up here, but going real smooth, I feel, so.
They definitely helped
Nothing,
clarity on some of those
yeah. Nothing,
policies. So
nothing too
appreciate
bad. Haven't come to fisticuffs yet, so. So, moving on to, public hearing, proposal for food service adult, breakfast and lunch meal increases. Which I think we,
Yeah, you heard Sherry.
yeah.
If you want me to do it, we can add more if you still have questions about the actual price.
Yeah, I guess you got a question?
So currently it's $4 and, no, sorry, adult breakfast is $2.65. So it's only the adult prices we're addressing right now because the state requires that we address them prior to our renewal of our program for next year. And the renewal happens before the end of this year. So adult breakfast is $2.65 this year. They want us to raise it by 20 cents to $2.85 next year. Adult lunches are $4.70 this year. They would like us to raise those by 25 cents to $4.95 this year. And so this is a requirement by the state. I'm not exactly sure what happens if we don't raise them, but because we haven't ever done that. But I do believe it's necessary that we raise prices. We kind of only like to stick to just 10 cents a year, but just with the cost of inflation and the cost of employment, I think we need to. So, any questions?
Is that enough to cover the increase?
Honestly, probably not. Honestly, but you also have to weigh if you raise it too high, will your participation drop? So,
Is there a lot of adult participation?
there's probably more than you would think. We have quite a few teachers that eat just depending on the day. At the high school particularly, we have a lot of teachers that eat. I don't know at the middle school. Upriver, a few teachers eat. So I don't know. I don't know what the revenue that we bring in from that. It's not huge for sure.
It seems to be increased this year for some reason. They think.
Yeah.
I look at it.
Well, they like kind of specific things. So for instance, we actually got really lucky and got a cook from Tomato Street in Spokane just because she wanted to move back to St. Mary's. So we've developed some recipes and we've teachers kind of like the soup and like a sandwich day or like our big salads or trying to think. We did like a chicken parm pasta kind of thing. Teachers like that. So that could be why our participation has gone up.
Do we have like
it's expensive to go at a gas station? A
Yeah.
burger is $7.
And I was about to add to that I mean, have you guys figured out what the difference would be? Like really the cost of increase so that you're not struggling? I hate to poke a bear, if we're going to just poke them again next year. I'd rather just be like, what's a realistic?
I would say it's a little bit difficult to determine that right now because I still haven't seen. So we've asked Cisco to renew the bid for next year, but we still haven't seen pricing for next year.
Right.
So I think I haven't seen milk. I just have no idea what pricing is going to be next year. I don't know how much it's going to go up.
A quarter increase versus like a 30-cent increase, or let's be realistic, $5 for. We're talking about this is adult pricing, right? Like, do we really see a difference? Would you really see a difference if you went up 35 cents in adult participation in food?
I doubt it, honestly.
I'm just wanting to see if we can project that.
If you think about it, if adults are comparing eating, like you said, at a burger place in town, $4 and
just for the burger.
$4 and that would be $5.05. Increase it by 30 cents instead of it would be $5.
And I'm just asking. I'm just trying to project like an idea. Can we find out what the increase was? I don't know if you can project what that might be. Is that possible before we? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, heck, man, you're gonna bring the whole crew in for lunch.
It's good participation, but it's not huge. So I mean, it's not like we're not talking taking care of the issue by getting more money from the adult,
No, but I want to be realistic. We're not going under.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. And I think Sherry's watching that really closely.
Okay.
So you're going to see adult prices go up a little, you see student prices go up a little, and then what you've heard her talk about, all the other ways she's going to look to save money to counter the increase in cost with swapping out the fruit, sorry. Watching our staff, hours.
Sure.
Looking at the food and the menu and the prices,
Sure.
comparing prices. student servers. You had another one. Oh, adding a breakfast to the middle and high school. So additional ways, incrementally increasing this over the years has been successful. And then also look at other ways to be cost effective.
I definitely appreciate your,
He's very
involvement.
diligent on.
I just know that with,
I don't like a shortfall.
Yeah,
Makes
there you
me,
go.
I've never had one under my tenure here. So it's a little nerve wracking thinking that we're going to have one. I did talk to all the, when I went to that co-op meeting last week, we discussed this, and every district is looking at a shortfall this year. It's just, it just
Change
really
of
has to do
COVID,
with the state not raising their reimbursement rates to how much they really need to be raising.
Well, it just, it's not real good because everything you touch has gone up.
Yeah.
And nothing else is coming in to help subsidize.
No,
how
in fact,
much
they're
that
taking
increase
things
is.
away. So, for instance, we paid for milk all of this year with a grant, and that's going away. And that's, probably close to $45,000. Yeah, yeah.
So can we get some cows? and
Get
put
some
'em out there?
gallon jugs and dump it in
That's
the
funny
glass.
because
instead of
I have
using-
an employee who's constantly coming and trying to grab milk, and I'm like, I don't have a cow here. We do not have a cow
Yeah.
at Hayburn. I'm sorry.
I just want to definitely recognize that there is an inflation. And
Yeah.
I don't want you to shortfall because
Yeah.
that's all I'm just.
I mean, we can look at it. I mean, I don't know how busy Danette is.
I do know, like, especially before the pandemic, there weren't very many, maybe a handful of school districts that really could run their food program just
No.
solely and make money. General fund
Right.
would have to help them. It's
And
just the
really-
cost of staff,
Yeah.
to be able to pay your staff, but you should be
Sure,
paid
sure.
that alone.
And that has really, I mean, honestly, if we're looking at
Okay.
where a lot of that money is coming from, probably over half of it is
General.
staffing.
Just last year,
No, we
we had the
increased-
big increase in monies for state.
Salary for our classified.
But that was it wasn't for food service, but yeah, we needed to increase food service just as much as everybody else, but there was no more money for that. So
Mhm.
that's where.
Well, and in just in talking to all the other districts, I think we're one, if not the only district that doesn't, the food service doesn't depend on some general funds.
They will next year.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. I didn't think about that, but definitely because I don't want to just throw that on the taxpayer. I'm also trying to figure out a way that we just don't shortfall what we
Right,
need. So
right,
if that's
the
what we
general
do.
fund will need to next year, that'll be part of the budget talks
Mhm.
next
Perfect.
week, is that we'll have to be able to help fund a little bit of it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think it will be as bad as,
Not as bad as you were thinking the other
No.
day.
Yes.
Yeah, you had some gloom and doom going on.
well, I forgot I was increasing meal prices too. So I was just looking at money, how much I had coming this year, and especially losing that grant,
Yep.
how that affects me.
There
But
will be some help, but it won't be as bad as.
yeah. No, I think compared to some districts, we're better off because we've always been fiscally
Absolutely.
conservative with how we pay our employees and how we, just what kind of meals we serve and how we try to utilize USDA foods compared to commercial. So,
Appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you for all
Yep.
the work. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Even process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's good to know.
Thank you.
Any other, that was it?
Thank you.
That's kind of off topic, but do we have an employee that just writes grants?
So you're looking at them.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I know like for the Elks, we have a guy that just writes grants and he finds all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
I think we'd had a discussion about finding enough grants where the off the top would actually fund the person to write the grants, but it's
You mentioned that.
gotta get it rolling
Right.
first to do it.
It can be quite a workload. He pulls in a lot of money.
One meeting a month, dude, you should do that committee. You should write them for us.
I don't know how to write.
I know, I don't know.
I'm gonna say that.
Careful, I did too. All right, P, name change, Potlatch Deltic Field at Lumberjack Sports Complex.
So, Potlatch and I guess Potlatch is bringing this back. We are adjusting the name. And originally Potlatch had signed the contract or the agreement and the school board had approved on the contract or agreement. So the name is now going to be Potlatch Delta Field at Lumberjack Sports Complex. But they took out community. The reason was it's meant to be a field for the, I guess, students, if you will. Now, other people from surrounding area can certainly, or within the community can certainly fill out a facilities use agreement to use it. Our sports teams usually get priority to, right, the gym, the building, the fields. And they were a little worried about like wanting to keep it a school property, a little worried about otherwise after hours, then it becomes the dog park.
The word community implies that it's open to the public.
After
Right.
hours.
And how they built it, with the community,
True. True.
Yeah.
No, that's where that came from. Just like the maintenance, the repair, the upkeep.
I do see it when you do say community, it means like, oh,
Anybody can go there.
after they're done with ball practice, we're gonna go have a pickup game, or whatever.
Not that it's not gonna be accessible to the community, and not that they're not appreciative of the community support, the boosters, Potlatch, of course, and all the other people that will have their plaque because they supported the funding of the field and the maintenance. There was a lot of labor that's gone and hard work that's gone into getting the field ready. That's where it came from.
Okay.
So Potlatch just asked us to bring it back to you all, and then it could be an action item later, and then we would hand the agreement over to Potlatch.
Okay, moving on to Q, board request administration, board development. Anybody got any things to request to administration?
Oh,
You good, Beth?
request admin, what does that mean?
Like anything you want me to
Upcoming
go ask,
topics?
Yeah, like I'm gonna go work on the calendar. We're gonna get some legal advice on employment. Once I get the bid written up, the request written up, I'm gonna share it with you all. So those are some of like my tasks.
Definitely want to continue pursuing interest in finding a policy in regards to the dying bill 415, as it's going to come back around. And we know because lawmakers said they will. I'd like to not just let that fall off. I know that there's been a lot of patrons have come to me and said, hey, what are we doing further to protect our students? And I know we are. And I've let them know, hey, we are moving forward with these products. This is what we've done. But with that coming up, I'd like to still pursue an idea of how we would adopt that policy when it comes around, or even being proactive and thinking about how that would be still a possibility before those laws come in. If we can still pursue just interest on that, that would be great. That's something that's been dear to my heart.
Absolutely.
This is a safety issue, that's correct, Beth?
I'm so sorry. I didn't understand you, Beth.
Say that again, Beth.
Safety issue. Yes. Just making sure we were looking so hard into Bill 415 that became SB 4111 or 1418. And it died off, but it was the only reason why it died off is because the NRA did what the NRA does. And they said, if it's not 100% Second Amendment, we don't support it. And so that's where I heard a lot of from senators being like, well, if it's not perfect for this, which I understand their progression, but still we have board policy that says, it's up to us to make something that's coming up. There's a safety issue that I think that we need to look at is creating a policy that we can always adjust to the statute when it comes, or at least defining that policy better. I'd like to find further.
Keep it at the forefront.
Yes, I'd like to still continue pursuing. Yes.
With that said, I don't know if you would be interested in starting a resolution with the ISBA to get something put in to statute.
You mean using them for a way to work for us is what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
I think they stood really hard on the factor that it was a localized government. They wanted to keep it localized. They wanted us to make our own decisions.
But you could form a bit, a resolution on how you would like that to, what you would like that to say.
Okay. Maybe I could use your knowledge on the factor of how I would be able to make that move forward with.
Yeah, well, what we could do, if we all wanted to come together and got a resolution wrote up and present it to the ISBA, and then I think, I'm not sure when they're due, July.
Coming up, because I'd seen some. of the
Yeah, there was
postings, and
something,
I see
something
that
going
there is a
on
deadline.
about some falling
I
off,
could
but
find out
anyway.
when that time is.
But the district could write a resolution and present it to the ISBA. And so what the ISBA would do would the 1st of September would take it to the executive board.
And move that to the.
Well, and the executive board would vet it, vote on it to see how they would want to pursue that. If they want to move it with the do pass recommendation, stay neutral, or, negative.
Because they ended up neutral on the subject in the first place last time.
Yeah,
I do want to say.
The same thing
Yep.
again.
I don't have a
It just
problem.
depends on how it's worded.
I don't have a problem bringing that up with the ISBA for sure. For us, I definitely want to still attack the safety issues we have in our community, which is why they said they want it local.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I want to attack: the sign issue. That both me and you were like, that's a red target.
Mm-hmm.
How we would implement protecting our students,
I mean,
we're working forward on, and I'm absolutely wanting to put that at a state level. If we can help other localized governments, I'm 100% for that.
Yeah,
And
they
it-
would probably
wanting to start
talking
here
to
is
us if
somewhere
they
I'm
know
at.
something good.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Wanting to start here is definitely.
And this was just an option if, if a person wants to try and move something forward. I mean,
At a state level.
I'm
At a
just,
state level. It's a good suggestion
just-
because I've never been that far.
just putting it out there.
So, are you wanting to actually formulate a policy for our district?
Yeah. to edit it.
Yes, I would like to look at the previous, like, one thing that I appreciate that Teresa brought to us is other districts that have in place, and they've done so much research on,
I know.
that we liked.
We would.
We saw, we were like, hey, I like this, I like that. It came down to the runner, where we were like, well, if they make this a statute, we can just align with that statute. But right now, knowing it's coming back around anyways, knowing that that's where they're literally saying, we're going to come back this next year and the year after. Okay. So then what are those school districts doing right that we can be proactive on to protect our students right now, that we can also know that's coming? And as they adjust, if statutes make us adjust them, we can adjust them. Because right now we have no policy besides what statute says, which says we should make a policy. It says the board can make a policy to protect our students. So I'd like to move forward with something, at least research of it, so that we can start that conversation, because you know how long it takes for policy to come in?
And
So that's where I'm definitely thinking would be beneficial
Yeah.
to all of us.
I can keep that at the forefront and bring some of those policies back that the districts already have in place.
Yep.
And if you'd like, along with that research, that would mean starting to get input
Yes,
from community.
yes,
staff,
that'd be a small
businesses.
one. Yes.
That takes time. That process takes time.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying it would happen
I know.
overnight. I just
I know.
know that it died off.
Keep it.
As politics does, and I know it died off, but I knew that whenever this was brought up, it was dear to my heart. Beth, you were with me when we walked and we saw, safety issues at the schools, that we were like, there is issues. And with that, I can understand where they're coming from with this. That doesn't mean we have to adopt that exact thing, but I like to move
Yeah, I
forward
mean,
with.
it needs to be addressed. And
Yes.
we're making steps with our safety, like the things that are happening in high school this summer.
Yep.
With the extra way finally. But yeah, every year we need to be making
Yes.
another step closer
Yes.
to.
Well, and I love
And the
that.
guns issue is a big one.
Yep. Well, what I definitely see, and this is something that it's been dear to my heart, which I appreciate, and I saw that in this book especially, was we move forward with cameras. We're moving forward with lighting. We're moving forward with locked entrances. Awesome. We're moving in the right direction. And for me, safety is number one for these children. That's my background. That's what I've done my entire life. So I want to continue moving forward with safe schools. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So moving on to the action items. Need to review and consider a motion to approve the math curriculum recommendation for the HMH onto math for St.
Into
Mary's.
math.
Into math on, for St. Mary's High School.
I make a motion that we adopt HMH math curriculum for the high school.
I second the motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Is that a opposed or is that a?
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
that was a delay.
She's just a delay.
Okay.
I get going too fast. Sorry, Beth.
And I'm just asking for clarity, so it's recorded.
Can I have you amend that? Sorry. It should include grade 8 algebra.
Oh,
I mean, it's
eight-
high school, but it should include grade 8 algebra.
8 through 12.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So that is a motion.
So-
You
so
did the
just-
motion, adjust the
well,
motion.
if the motion is good and the second's good with amending it, I think we should be fine.
Okay.
So we're good with the amendment?
I
Good.
motion, yep.
Okay, so you're good with the motion, Beth?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so all in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. S, review and consider motion to adopt the 2024-2025 school calendar.
We're gonna table that.
I motion to table that.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Review, consider a motion to approve the increase in adult breakfast and lunch meals prices for the 2024-2025 school year.
Were we tabling that one? Until she found out more, or are we just approving that? That's where I was confused. We talked about it.
I was okay with it, but if she could bring that information back, I don't think it'll make or break it.
We can table it for a little while, but
June.
I'm trying to remember what the deadline the state gave me.
Well,
to-
we'd have to do it because
We
we
did
have
do
to
the
do a
student ones
budget
anyway,
hearing on
did you?
this, and so we'd have to do another posting for 2 weeks.
Can we approve it and you come to further information? We can amend that?
Or after they get the bids, we
Go
could
back.
probably.
I'm okay with
raise it to
either
what
one.
it needs.
Yeah, I'm okay with approving it now. I just want to make sure that we're not.
Sure, yeah, because I would say by mid-June, we're gonna know.
Okay.
Pricing information,
Get this, we would have to do another.
which is
budget.
when we were gonna discuss the.
Yep.
Well, then I so
The
motion.
student ones.
Yep.
We
I
have to
so
go back
motion.
out for the student ones.
Okay, we're gonna motion. We'll need a second.
Second.
Who moved? I'm sorry.
I so
Seth
motioned,
moved.
yep, to go ahead
And
and
then it
have
was
it.
either toss up between Paul or
seconded it.
Josh.
Thank you.
Okay. Got a motion? No. Slow down. Any further discussion?
Okay.
All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. No, I'm not opposed.
Okay. Motion carries. You want to do the next one?
Okay.
You review and consider a motion to approve the name change Potlatch Deltic Field to at Lumberjack Sports Complex and Lumberjack Sports Complex. Okay.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'm gonna recuse myself from this because I've got some personal issues with that, so.
Okay.
So any further discussion? All in favor saying aye?
I would like, are we gonna make sure that there's appropriate, I guess, what steps are being taken to make sure there's appropriate recognition of the community
Mhm.
that put the back and sweat,
Yeah.
that value into that work?
Yeah.
Are we under
So-
contract is my only question to this. Are we under contract that we have to put this name to this?
Well, the current contract is Potlatch Deltic Field at Lumberjack Community Sports Complex.
Okay. Okay.
That's an agreement.
Well, I'm
And
all
then-
about researching more, but I just.
And in terms of, I'll try to speak the best I can, in terms of recognizing all the people and their sweat and labor. Principal Asbury and Donnie Masterson, they've talked about, we got the banners like Potlatch has,
Mhm.
but then they also talked about at the entryway there, having plaques or different bricks where the building's gonna be for ticket and food sales and storage, so that each business would be recognized there.
So still recognize those people on.
Oh, yeah,
So
Donations
Donations
are-
is on board with the name change.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He brought this to us.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, he did?
I
Yeah.
understand the purpose behind it.
Meeting with, the high school and myself and Joe and just, yeah.
Okay.
It was a part
I
of the
don't have any-
discussion.
And would there be
That's it.
a plaque or a sign or something that recognizes all of the community as the into it, that's very appropriate. It clarifies things, this is not a community park.
Maybe in the name.
Oh, yeah, I think that was the distinction.
So after that clarification, I would move to change the name to Potlatch Delta Field at Lumberjack Sports Complex.
I thought we already had a motion.
Yeah, we had a
Oh, we
motion.
did?
We were
Okay.
in
We're
discussion,
in
so,
discussion,
Yeah,
so
all right.
so
we're
I
ready
guess
for vote.
all in favor of saying aye?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. V, review and consider motion to approve the K&K Insurance Company voluntarily student insurance.
This is just, what I'm learning is an insurance that's offered pre-KK to our families, and they're welcome to sign up. It gives them accident coverage.
What does that affect them? How does that do with us in what way?
No way,
No financial repercussion?
nothing for us. It's just something that
And the parents, you know,
Family.
we don't know who's
Yeah,
involved.
families deal directly with the insurance company. What I've learned is it tends to be more secondary or older kids that are involved in athletics and sports. The family might sign up for this.
So it's kind of like a
Coverage.
Aflac
Yeah.
accident insurance.
It's a resource.
Right.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
resource for
Yep.
students and families.
And we've had it for quite a few years.
Oh, we have?
And this is a renewal, basically. We've had it for quite a few years.
Been beneficial to some families?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Okay, cool. I was almost in
I would
that.
imagine other school districts use this similar accident company.
That's why I motioned it.
Second.
second,
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. W, review and consider motion to approve the job description, 21st Century After School Program Assistant.
So we have that after-school program assistant with two coordinators and a director over there at Hayburn. And we have a paraprofessional who works in that after-school program. So the paraprofessional job description didn't quite match. So we just designed or updated the job description so it matches what she's doing performance-wise or responsibility-wise in the after-school program.
Okay.
Just made some minor adjustments to what the paraprofessional school job description looks like.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the 21st Century After School Program Assistant.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Oops, sorry. Motion carries. X, review and consider motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor saying aye?
Aye.
I just want to say so.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Awesome.
Less than 2
They
hours.
say that's a record.
Yeah.
And then